What's up? I am so excited to have you tuning into this episode 6 of Couch Conversations with Legacy Youth. I know we've been missing for about 2 months, but we talk about that and the reason why a little bit in this conversation that I got to sit down and have with one of our recently graduated seniors, Mason Meek. It's an incredible conversation that I believe a lot of people, whether you have just graduated, you're going into your senior year, you're just somewhere in high school or middle school, I believe that this is going to be a conversation that can really benefit you. So thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Couch Conversations. Let's get straight into this amazing talk with Mason Meek. All right. So Mason, the highly anticipated Mason Meek episode of Couch Conversations.
Yep.
People have been begging for it. That's kind of not true, but after this, they'll be ready for version 2 of it. So yeah. I'm really super excited to have you on here. I have been anticipating it. And so we're going to talk about an awesome subject today, but in all episodes of Couch Conversations, we kind of start with a silly question, but I had this one picked out especially for you. And so today, on this episode of Couch Conversations, we are going to be ranking our top 5 Disney songs of all time. Yeah. And so I want us to go back and forth, go all 5, right. I'll do my 5, or you do your 5, I'll do my 5.
Okay.
And then we'll go back and forth like that. So I got some hot takes in here. I have 2 honorable mentions as well.
I have 1.
We can do the honorable mentions at the end.
Okay.
There's a lot of good Disney songs out there.
There are really good Disney songs.
Okay.
It's hard to pick.
It is super hard to pick. I overthought this. Truthfully, the questions that we're going to talk about today, I thought about for about 10 minutes. This is really bad, but this I thought about for quite a while. Yeah. So go ahead, give us your number 5 Disney song of all time.
Okay. That one is, this might be a little controversial. Okay. It's Tell Me It's You from Mufasa.
I am genuinely shocked.
Yeah.
I thought that you were going to dog on Mufasa.
Oh, I will. Mufasa is terrible.
It's
horrible movie. It's an okay movie, but it's not lore accurate with The Lion King.
Yeah, it's
just
a weird
bad movie.
Just spoiler alert if anybody hasn't seen Mufasa yet. It's like a weird origin story for Scar.
Yeah,
like
it's bad.
What they did to Star Wars, like some of that stuff, but kind of worse.
Yeah, for sure.
And the music was not good. The live action Disney movies, even though it's not, not really live action, but more like realistic looking, they're super good looking.
Yeah.
But the music can't hold up to the original Lion King, which
For sure. No, it's not even close.
I have a Lion King song on this list because how can you not? That's like probably one of the most iconic,
for sure.
iconic movie soundtracks to any movie. But I'm going to start, this is my most controversial one. Okay. To start out with. Wow. But it is number 5. It's not number 1.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking with mine. You want to do the controversial one last.
Yeah, I just wanted this to make an appearance because a lot of times you think Disney movies, you think movies like The Lion King and, these different sort of like iconic Disney movies. I had to throw one in there for I was 10 years old when this movie came out, so people can judge me if they want to. But I had to throw one in from High School Musical.
Oh my gosh.
No way. It was a tough call. I had to pick one from High School Musical 1. I'm picking Breaking Free from High School Musical 1.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
It's not even.
That's horrible.
It's not even Zac Efron singing it. It's him lip syncing like another guy singing that song.
Gosh, it's terrible.
Look, I was 10 years old. Okay, we're defining our childhood here.
Wow.
And I was like prime age for High School Musical to be acceptable. It's not like it came out when I was 28 or something like that. Yeah. It came out when I was 10 and I loved the movie. I had the CD and it stayed in my mom's car all the time. I had the CD and it got stuck in my mom's CD player in her car. And so that's literally all we got to listen to is High School Musical over and over again. So that's my number 5.
I was talking to Hunter Bixler yesterday about my selection, and he was like, you got to put a High School Musical on there. And I was like, bro,
he's similar age to me,
no way, it's terrible.
So he understands. My wife, Jordan, potentially her entire top 5 would all be High School Musical songs.
That's so
maybe
bad.
One from Camp Rock or something like that. Okay, so that's my most controversial take. I got a couple. I got one on there that I feel like nobody else would really put on their list maybe. But anyways, go number 4 for you.
Okay, number 4. It's Prince Ali from Aladdin.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. I love
I
that.
haven't heard that song in a minute. I wish
That's a good one.
if it weren't going on YouTube, we would be playing these songs right now.
That's what I was saying.
But I'm gonna have to go listen to all of them. That's a good one. Aladdin's like a movie that I don't like. I didn't grow up watching Aladdin a lot, but the music's so good from it.
It is. And then you got like Robin Williams, the GOAT.
That's a super, and another example of like the new version of it, not good.
Yeah.
They just, it's a cash grab.
For sure. They're just like remaking movies.
Yeah.
To remake movies.
I've heard the new Lilo and Stitch is actually good though.
I can't wait to go see it.
Which
kind of dope.
I really liked Lilo and Stitch as a kid, and yeah, I will go see that one. It's actually one of the better ones, but like the Snow White one that came out a few months ago is like the most hated movie of the year already.
Yeah.
Okay, number 4 for me. This one. See, I had one that was from Aladdin, but I moved it down to honorable mention. I'm going to put in Under the Sea from The Little Mermaid.
That's a good one.
Sebastian's like is an incredible character. The Jamaican accent on a crab.
Yeah.
Whoever made that decision, that song, I was singing it the entire time I was getting ready this morning because it gets stuck in your head.
Yeah,
and it's there forever.
It's a good one.
Another movie that I'm like, I've seen The Little Mermaid, but it's not like a movie I grew up watching all the time. But it's just that song's so good.
Right.
You have to respect it.
I think honestly, I don't know if that's my favorite Little Mermaid song though.
What is the other?
It's Kiss the Girl.
Oh, I was thinking like Part of Your World or Part of Their World or whatever the other one is. There's like three. Those I completely forgot about Kiss the Girl, but also Sebastian singing the song.
Sebastian.
The Jamaican accent sells it.
It's got to be it.
Okay, now we're getting down to top 3 here.
Top 3.
Go ahead.
This is where it was kind of cemented for me. Like these top 3.
Okay.
Like 4 and 5 were like it was a toss up. I got a couple honorable mentions that I was gonna, I was thinking about. But for 3, I got Go the Distance from Hercules.
Okay.
Certified banger. I made Grant listen to it on the way here.
I can't even I'll be honest, a song from Hercules would not have even crossed my mind, even though I had the VHS when I was growing up. We had the VHSs with the white plastic boxes. Do you remember those? Yeah. We had that of Hercules and like all of them. I think my sister still does, and she has a VHS player just to play for her kids. That's a great choice.
It's a good one.
I think we need to release a playlist of these songs. Just check the description for the Spotify link. There's not really a Spotify link, but there should be one. Number 3, this is another one where people are going to be like, really? The song Monsters, Inc. from Monsters, Inc. It's the jazz song. They don't even sing it. It's so like the clarinet song? Yeah, like the theme song from Monsters, Inc.
What a weird one to put in your top 5.
I absolutely love
it's good.
That song. That might be more controversial than a High School Musical song, to be honest.
I don't know. That was pretty good.
But I was listening to it. I was at the gym this morning listening to I love that song.
Oh my goodness.
So
that's hilarious.
People can be upset about that one if they want to. But that is just when you hear that is a work of art, that music. It is so perfect for that movie. It just fits for some reason. A movie about monsters.
Yeah.
This little clarinet jazz number or whatever it is. I think it's a clarinet. I don't know. Yeah. Somebody, I'm 99% sure
it's like a clarinet or like a saxophone or something. Yeah. Something like that.
But anyways, that's my number 3. Now, number 2. The number 1 spot has got to be super tough. What's interesting is we've not said any of the same ones. We've not had the same answers. We'll see if we make it to all the way through. I feel I don't know. My number 2, you might have said it as well. But what's your number 2?
Okay, my number 2 is I'll Make a Man Out of You from Mulan.
That's not on my list, but that's a great movie.
That is a great movie.
I've seen that movie 1 or 2 times in my life. I didn't watch it till I was an adult.
I didn't watch it until maybe 3 years ago.
Yeah, I didn't watch Mulan until I was an adult, and it's
a banger.
It is an amazing movie. Mushu is one of the greatest characters in a Disney movie. Really good. And they remade the live action Mulan, which I don't even know if people like that, but they didn't have Mushu in it. So I was I didn't even want to watch it.
Oh, they didn't?
No, they had no Mushu.
That's the best part of the movie.
I know. I don't know how they were going to do it, but there was no Mushu. I wanted Eddie Murphy to be in. That's who voiced Mushu, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted Eddie Murphy to just be there, just completely out of context.
Dressed in all red.
A really cheap dragon costume. That's what I wanted. And I would have gone and seen the movie. But with no Mushu, I was like, you just cut out the best part of your movie.
Yeah. That was like the funniest part.
It is. All right. So my number 2, I think at this point, this one's not on your list because I'm pretty sure I know what your number 1 is. But it's The Circle of Life from The Lion King.
It's a good one.
It's a really good one. When they hit you with the pink pajamas, penguins on the bottom. Dude, that song, I've been on a couple mission trips to Africa, and I won't even lie, I've listened to that song like the whole way. Like a 16-hour plane ride. Just the whole time.
That's hilarious.
That movie
That's a good song.
That is such a beautiful, and the scene in the movie too, where all the animals are coming together. That's the one thing about Mufasa that was good. They like kind of redid that scene, but they all looked like real, like live animals. And I was like,
yeah, that scene was good.
That made me like tear up, even though it's the most unrealistic thing ever because it's not, they're all trying to kill each other.
It's kind of trippy whenever like just the animals just start talking.
Yeah.
And you're just like, whoa, this is weird.
Yeah. You're supposed to be animated, and this is a real like warthog here and meerkat.
Got a giraffe just talking.
Yeah, for sure. What is your coveted number 1 Disney song of all time?
Well, it's also my favorite Disney movie.
Okay.
It's from The Lion King.
Nice.
This is pretty well known around here. That it's "Can You Feel the Love Tonight" from The Lion King.
Go ahead and sing a couple verses for us.
Oh man, I don't know if I can do it copyrighted.
That's true. I couldn't pick it as mine. I don't dislike the song, but it's not my top 5. But I had to respect your dedication to that song.
I love that song.
Is when we go to summer camp, they do like one night they'll do like Disney karaoke, like after service or something.
I'll whip it up.
And Mason's like ready to go sing "Can You Feel the Love Tonight?"
Oh, man.
Which is this is not to like say anything. You don't expect that out of you. You don't look like the guy who's ready to go sing "Can You Feel the Love Tonight?"
But it's a banger.
My number 1. So I grew up more watching Pixar movies, which I guess that I've had one other Pixar movie, The Monsters Inc. The Monsters Inc. choice was Pixar, and I loved that one as a kid. But my number 1 Disney song of all time is "You Got a Friend in Me" from Toy Story.
It's a good one.
I mean,
it's classic.
That is an absolute classic, which actually Toy Story, I don't know what year it came out. It was before I was born too.
Actually, it was 1995.
Was it? Okay, yeah. That was before I was born. So still grew up watching that movie a lot. And just Randy Newman knocked it out of the park. And I think he also did Monsters Inc. too. I'm pretty sure he did.
I think he did.
So shout out to him because he's got 2 songs on here. A couple honorable mentions. Give me all your honorable mentions. You only got 1, right?
I got 2. Okay. I remembered one. So this one's kind of weird. But I guess technically it would be a Disney song. So I put it in honorable mention. But "Life is a Highway."
That was on mine too.
Okay.
The only reason it didn't make my top 5 is because it technically wasn't written for like a Disney movie.
Right,
it came out in like 1991 and then they re-recorded it for Cars. But as far as like, I don't want to say impactful, like "Life is a Highway" changed my life or something like that. But anytime I'm on a road trip, like it's going to make an appearance.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
it's on there.
More so than probably almost any of the other ones. Like "Life is a Highway," as far as songs I've listened to, and I would actually put on a playlist just for casual listening. I don't know if any of the others would make it, but "Life is a Highway" would, and everybody loves that song. But I just couldn't consider it like a true Disney song that was written just for a Disney movie.
That's what I was thinking.
So do you have another honorable mention?
Okay, I do. And it's "Arabian Nights" from Aladdin. But specifically the new Aladdin.
Okay.
It's like Will Smith does it.
Okay.
It's actually fire. It's produced better than the original Aladdin.
I have not seen anything or heard anything from it, but I will have to go listen to that one after this. My other one that it was in the number 4 spot. I swapped it out. Actually on my list right here, it's actually considered an honorable mention, but I just had to bump it up. Under the Sea. I had to bump it out of honorable mention and bump A Whole New World down to honorable mention because it's a great song. But I think that it fits more in honor. I just thought Under the Sea was like too catchy, too much of an earworm of a song.
It does get stuck in your head for sure.
Like to the point where some of these songs are going to be a they're going to be stuck in my head for the rest of the day because I'm going to go and listen to them. But anyways, now that we've talked about that for I don't know how long, you got a longer intro question than most people, and we could sit here and talk about Mufasa. Just give us your quick take on the new Mufasa movie.
Oh man, like you want me to go in depth? Because I could go in depth, but then it would take a while.
Just give us your as much time as you want.
Okay, so obviously I'm about to say some spoilers for Mufasa, but they just completely like retconned everything that the Lion King put in place. Like Mufasa was like he in the Lion King said that he came from kings, but in like the movie Mufasa, his dad was like a nobody.
Yeah, he
just
if you haven't seen the movie, just completely skip this because it's gonna be nothing but spoilers. But he gets like lost from his parents who are just completely, like you said, normal people.
Yeah, just normal lions.
So, yeah, you got to figure out a way to make the story work.
Yeah,
with what you originally said.
I don't know, it's annoying. And then I will say, like the origin story of Scar is like pretty much like the basis of the movie.
Yeah,
like it's like he's the main like antagonist. Yeah, kind of. But it was just it just wasn't good. Like he all of a sudden just switched up on his brother over a girl.
His brother. For some reason, he has a British accent. I don't know why. The lion, like half of them have like African accents, and the other half have British accents, and they don't explain why.
Dude, and his dad wasn't British, nor his mother.
No, yeah, they were all.
He just was.
They got African accents, and he got a British accent.
Yeah,
and his name is Taka, I guess.
Yeah,
but it sounds like for half the movie, I thought his name was Tucker, which is like if the Lion King happened in Arkansas, his name would be Tucker.
Yeah, for sure.
But the way that they pronounce it sounds like almost Tucker,
for sure.
But it's Taka. And then at the very end, they like slip in this little thing. He gets a scar, and they're like, henceforth, you shall be known as Scar.
Oh my god!
And I'm like, dude, y'all kind of y'all run out of money or something, or like ideas. You're right. We could go on about it for a while, but we can just. Legacy Youth does not endorse the movie Mufasa. I'm not a complete hater, but it was just a letdown.
If I were to just see the movie without having seen like The Lion King, I'd be like, that's a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
But just knowing all the stuff that I know about The Lion King, it's my favorite movie.
You can't live in the shadow of a movie like The Lion King.
Right, you can't.
There's a lot of movies out there that Disney tries to, because a lot of the other ones they've done like live action, if you want to call it that. I don't know. They probably have another name for it. But those movies are just remakes, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like Aladdin, they just remade it. Mulan, I'm pretty sure they just remade it. This was a sequel. Like they added storyline to it, or a prequel, I guess, technically. That was a bold move for a movie as beloved as Lion King.
It was. Came in there swinging and kind of hit.
Yeah.
It was okay.
But one day the kids who are like kids now are going to be like, Mufasa is so much better than Lion King.
Oh,
like, don't even.
Dude, if my kid ever said that to me,
you weren't there.
I had to sleep outside.
That's it. You grounded. Go to your room.
Go to the doghouse.
All right. Let's get into the actual conversation that we're going to have. So, Couch Conversations. This is our podcast that we launched the beginning of this year, and we kind of took a 2-month hiatus on accident because just behind the scenes, a lot of people who listen to this are part of Legacy Youth. There are also some people that maybe in real life, and other people who can anybody can find it. It's on the internet. We just went through a whole lot as a church, all good stuff. We just went through renovation in our building, and it was just super duper busy, as well as Easter time is busy for like any church. And so with that, without even realizing it, we kind of like dropped the ball, Couch Conversations for like 2 months. And I was like, you know what? We got to get back in there. And I wanted to get Mason in. I was like, this is a perfect opportunity for us to talk about, since we just came through. I mean, all that stuff was super stressful for me, and it was a whole lot. Even in that, we had service for like 2 months in our youth center. So our sanctuary is being renovated. We moved to our youth center. We fit, an unreal amount of chairs in our youth center, and then still had to have church in there on Wednesday nights. It was just stressful for me too, and so I'm coming out of a particularly stressful season, and so is Mason. So today we're going to talk a little bit about coming through a stressful season. Everybody has them.
Mm-hmm.
And so can you share with us, you just graduated a couple weeks ago. Will you share with us kind of what your senior year looked like and what made it particularly stressful? You can brag on yourself for a second.
All right. Well, so I was in football, and that was honestly, that was like the root of my stress for a long time. Like the past 4 years it was very stressful, just trying to like be the best I can on the field. But then I also got to keep like, the classroom in mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm taking these really hard classes that like people take that like don't have any extracurricular because they're so hard. You know what I mean? And I got football that's taking up all my time. And so I'm just like struggling. And I'm a very, very much so a procrastinator. Like it's bad. I'll wait until the last 30 minutes to write an essay. And then though I will say, I write some pretty dang good essays in 30 minutes, I will say.
Some people...
Practice makes perfect.
Pressure makes diamonds.
Hey, that's it right there.
That's you, for sure.
That's it right there. I'm going to get that like tatted across my chest.
Absolutely. It'll be a Wednesday night, and we're like eating after service. It's like 9:30 going on 10 o'clock, and Mason's like, I got a 4-page paper due tonight at midnight. I haven't even started on it yet. And I'm like, what are you doing here? Get out. Go home. And you're like, it's fine. I'll take care. I'll get it.
Yeah.
And then like I'll see a picture where there's like 12 Red Bulls on your desk.
Oh, man. That was bad. That was the only way I made it through.
How many Red Bulls do you think you had in the last like 2 months of school?
In the last 2 months of school?
Or just energy drinks in general, I guess.
I'd have to say upwards about 50 to 60. Which honestly is not that bad.
That's not that bad considering you were doing that much stuff. A lot of people just drink Red Bulls like that anyways.
Right.
Which is not
good
for you.
I've never had an energy drink before, like this little last part of school. It's my first ever time.
So like when you first start drinking something like that, it really hits. And then over time you're like...
Right. I drink a Red Bull now and I'm like...
Whatever.
Just falling asleep.
Yeah, you got to detox from the caffeine to get back into it. But anyways, you went through all that and graduated, you can correct me if I'm saying this wrong, but International Baccalaureate, which is just really tough school, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's called like a college preparatory program.
Okay.
Just like get you ready for college. So it's basically just college work. You get like concurrent credit for it. So you get like college hours.
Well, before we get too much further into this, what are you doing for college? Like, what are your plans going forward?
I'm going to University of Arkansas. I'm going to do mechanical engineering with an emphasis in aerospace.
So you're not just a football player, That's
not just a football player.
You're over here doing like the really, that's in other words to say Mason's pretty smart, but came through a super stressful season. Like your parents would say stuff like Mason's got this, he's doing this. And I'm like, dude, I didn't know that they made you do that stuff in high school.
It's insane how much they make you do.
Crazy. And also you were doing football and all that stuff, but you served at church like crazy. Like you're here all the time, never miss a Wednesday, never miss a Sunday, are here doing stuff on other days of the week. Like I can't imagine how stressed you were, like to a crazy degree. So what were like some of the most stressful moments? Did you have like a giant paper or anything like, what was that?
So I think probably the most stressful moment was I had it's called an extended essay that you're supposed to do over 2 years, right?
And you did not.
And so in typical Mason fashion, I waited until the night it was due. And it's supposed to be like this huge paper. Over 2 years.
I think that we were huge at Chick-fil-A that night, and you were like, I had this due
probably
tonight.
But anyway, I stayed up all night and wrote like 30 pages in a night. And it's over like chemistry.
Can I read it?
I'll give it to you. You want me to?
I probably wouldn't understand it anyways. Like I took chemistry in high school, and I haven't thought about it one time since then.
Yeah, well, chemistry for me is kind of easy. That's where I excel. In like science. English is hard.
I can say I'm the opposite. I wasn't in school. Like I didn't like English in school, but as I went through college and stuff, I had to write a lot of papers, and I just became like, that was where I was like, oh, I can actually kind of do this. You know what I mean? Sure. It's not necessarily my favorite thing to do, but I was just like, I can do it. Was there ever a moment, maybe that night, where the pressure was like, I think this is too much. Like, I really don't know if I'm going to make it through. Probably more than just that moment.
I think it's probably last year. I'm thinking like we just started and we're just like overloaded with work. And there was a point where everybody was like, what if we just like quit? What are they going to do?
Was there anybody who did quit?
Yes, this year for sure. One of them did. But he's always kind of struggled academically.
Well,
but
that would be me. I'm not trying to throw.
I was this close. I was this close to joining him.
For real. I'm like, I like make jokes or whatever, but I'm not like, I wasn't dumb in school, but just like if there was extra stuff, I wasn't an extra stuff type of guy in school. I was like, let me do what I got to do. I knew what I wanted to do. I'm like, I want to go be a pastor. I don't need physics.
Right.
Okay. So I'm just going to take weight training and just kind of coast through my senior year. That was me. But was there anything that you felt like made the pressure kind of worse? Like any expectations, just that fear of failure? Was there pressure on you from, I don't know, people in your life, teachers?
I think the root of it was probably, it's like my own, like I put myself in my own prison. Like it was my fault. I'm a perfectionist.
Yeah.
Which sucks because I'm a procrastinator as well. So I procrastinate,
combination.
And then I'm like, well, this has to be perfect. Like I got to get an A on this.
Yeah.
And so it's horrible. It's like very stress inducing. And then I'm like, I got 5 papers due at once. And so it's like, where do I start? Because I procrastinated them all. So, and then, but it's almost like I'm like scared to start something because then something else is going to fade away and it's going to be an F. And I'm going to forget about it or something because I'm doing this. So I just don't do any. So it's pretty rough.
I can sympathize with that. You know, I'm similar to you. Like I want to do good at stuff. I told you I'm not the type to sign up for extra stuff, but I wanted to do good in school. And especially as I progressed, when I was in like early high school, I just did not care. And then more and more, and especially as I got to college, I was like, okay, I actually want to do good at this. Once you start really paying for school, that's when you're like, I better learn something here because this is costing way too much for me to learn nothing.
For sure.
But I would procrastinate things as well. And I had classes where it would be like paper due every week. And some people just don't do papers. Like papers aren't their thing.
Right.
And I just didn't struggle with papers, but I tell people now, like Jordan, my wife, she's incredibly smart and intelligent in ways that I'm not, but she doesn't like writing papers. She's like, she'll tell you papers just aren't my thing. She knows way more than me about anything medical, but she would have to write papers. And I'm like, let me help you write the paper. And she's like, how did you write that paper? You don't even know what you're talking about. And I'm like, truthfully, people don't want to tell you this. Writing papers is a skill in and of itself, just to be able to kind of like, you tell me like write a 4-page paper on a sock. And I'll be like, all right,
that's great.
Give me an hour and a half here and I'll
insane.
come up with something. But that need to be perfect. I feel that nobody else puts pressure on me like I put pressure on me.
Right. For sure.
Which is a blessing and a curse because it makes you good.
Yeah. But it makes you very stressed.
Yeah. It makes you good, but it also can at times, like, I don't want to say hate yourself, but there's times where when I was in school where I was like, every time I'm like, it's me procrastinating again. It's the same thing that I did the last paper that I had. So no, my parents didn't put those expectations on me. Even now as an adult and in ministry, it's not like there's people putting expectations on me that are completely unrealistic, but I expect every sermon to be a certain level. I expect every small group to be a certain level of good. And if it's not good, like people can say, man, that was really powerful, that impacted me or whatever it is. If I didn't feel like it was good, I'm in that same place, like a prison to my own self, that pressure that I put on myself. So what role did your faith play in probably the most difficult season of your life that you just came through?
So as you mentioned, I serve in like both worship teams, youth and
Sunday mornings.
Yeah. And that was honestly like that. I look forward to Sundays and Wednesdays because like it's just a place where I can like let go of stress. Like I like being there. Like you know what I mean. I don't necessarily like being at school.
Yeah.
And doing work. but I like being there. I get to play guitar with some of my favorite people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's awesome. I love to do that. And then you get to worship with some of your favorite people as well.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to serve. It's like a perfect package.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I also think prayer really, like, it's also a way to like decompress and just put your stress onto God, for sure. It helped me.
That's really true, and I've never even like thought to put it in those words, but yeah, prayer's like stress relief sometimes. It's also, you want God to help you. Obviously, that's kind of why you pray. Also, just to have like connection with the Lord. But when you're praying, "Hey, Lord, help me make it through the season," you want Him to help you make it through that season. But it's crazy how sometimes the act of prayer itself is what can help you through some of your most difficult moments. And that happens to me. I just don't always like recognize that that's what's happening. But like if anybody goes and you know how you can have like a real therapeutic conversation with somebody. I'm kind of like I tend to bottle things up a little bit and then they'll like come out. And that like feels good because, it's not great to bottle things up. Everybody knows that, but a lot of people do it. And so whenever I can go to the Lord and just like let it go, like approach, it says in the book of Hebrews, like boldly approach the throne of grace, that you can just like go to God and for real tell Him like, I'm frustrated, I'm ticked off, I'm at your worst moment, just to tell God how you really feel. I'm stressed out, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Super therapeutic to like come out from that prayer and be like, you know what? I'm trusting the Lord to still do something, but I feel better already. Just to be able to like kind of like word vomit all my thoughts in this moment. Do you think that through this season and the stress, your relationship with God, like, did it grow? Did it strengthen your faith?
For sure. Like it's such, I don't think without like having my faith that I have procured from like this season, I don't think I could have made it. Like it was insane. The amount of stress that I had was like almost like life ending. Like it was bad. Like I couldn't think because of how stressed I was. And it really helped me because like, I'll be honest, some of the papers, like I just had to put on God for a little bit. You know what I mean? I was like, yeah, you gotta take that.
Yeah.
But yeah, my faith for sure. I mean, everyone's faith is always growing. If you are actively pursuing a better relationship, it is. But it definitely helped strengthen my faith because like I did the work and it really just showed me that He's there.
Absolutely. Those make or break seasons are what make it,
For sure.
Truth is, for like everybody, your faith can grow incrementally, but a lot of people want their faith to grow like, everybody wants to go to the gym once and have six-pack abs the next day. And people sometimes want a similar result with their faith. They're like, God, just grow my faith. One of the best ways to do that is go through some hard stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
And nobody's praying for that.
Yeah.
But the Lord will use it in your life. Like you just came through that. And, I feel like for me coming through this season that we just came through that I mentioned at the beginning was super stressful as well. Like to the point I had some stressful moments in college and different points in time were stressful. This may have been the most stressful season to have come out of because we're going on a missions trip here just next week at the time that we're recording this. I had never planned a missions trip. We got renovation at the church. We got Easter, which we did Easter off campus this year. And so you got to pack everything up and move it there. We're having stuff in the use, all this stuff. And it's not just stressful on me who like works here full time, but also volunteers. You were one of them. A lot of people up here serving extra. You can find yourself in a place where you're upset at the church and even upset at God a little bit if you're not careful, because you can just get burnt out, man. You're burning the candle at both ends. And I felt like that. To be honest, I won't say how many days I worked in a row without a break. It was not anything that was required of me. And in fact, when our pastor, when I told him, he was like, why in the world have you done that? And some of it was my own doing because I just procrastinated. He was like, you could have done that like a while ago. And I just procrastinated. But what I needed most of all was, instead of getting bitter at church or bitter at God, to be drawn into prayer, and that to be the fuel, and that not to limit God, But that only goes so far as well because God intends us to rest. It's not like, hey, just work every single day of your life and pray and you'll be fine. Like God intends us to rest. But sometimes you got to put a little extra work in. And that was a season where we did that. And now things are a little bit more chill. But prayer is what sustained me through that. And same for you. So looking back, what did God teach you during all that?
He taught me to be patient and more so like just patient with myself. I had to like, as I said, like put some of the papers on God, but more specifically, like I had to be okay with not being perfect, which was very hard.
Yeah.
It was extremely hard. And also like my teachers helped me with that too. Like I had one teacher that was like, just turn it in. Like just write it. If it's not that good, just turn it in. Just turn it in. But like just prayer really helped me come through like that season of just needing to be perfect. I could just spend time with God and turn stuff in when it wasn't perfect. And so
in your eyes it wasn't perfect, but you're like, I had a mentor in my life tell me that like when God calls you to something, he doesn't require it to be perfect, but he requires it to be done. You know what I mean? Which is a super hard thing to accept as a perfectionist. And there's most people don't get that right. Like you're on one side or the other. Either you're a perfectionist or you don't care enough, but to find that middle ground where it's like, God, I'm giving everything that I have here. It is my best. And I believe that you can make up where I lack. I'm going to fall short in some areas. It's not going to be the greatest paper that was ever written by any student ever. Hey, maybe it was. I don't know. I haven't read any of your papers, but any paper I wrote was not going to be the greatest paper written by any student ever, but God, I gave it my best, and the Lord will sustain you and bring you through those moments. And that's a super important lesson to learn. Patience with yourself. This podcast is about making it through a hard season, but also kind of simultaneously for both of us, it seems like it's about trying to understand you and give yourself grace.
Yeah.
Because
it's a big one.
All of us need that. So you're done with your senior year, but senior year is a huge deal. And we got some people who are listening to this probably about to go into senior year. A lot of people who are going to be at senior year here within the next couple of years or so. So if you could go back to the beginning of your senior year of high school, what's one thing that you wish somebody would have told you?
If I could go back, I would tell myself a lot, but more specifically, I'd probably say focus less on like the grind of school and focus on like just the fun stuff. Like I had no fun this year. It sucked. Like everyone was like just having fun. Like I just had no fun because I was just struggling the whole time. But there's fun moments obviously, but
you could have had more fun if you gave yourself a little bit more.
Yeah. And then also everyone says this, but don't procrastinate. But like you need to learn how to not procrastinate. Just me telling you is not going to do anything. Like so many people tell me, but just stop procrastinating. And I'm like, oh yeah, just let me do that real quick.
It's a thing that's deep inside of a procrastinator. It's a tough thing to break. And I still do it sometimes. There's, ways to get out of it. I remember I had my first semester of college. So if I could have somebody tell me something before I started college, which I have somebody who's about to start college, my biggest thing was like, be super regimented about your like planner, whatever you use. I just use my calendar on my phone. And my first couple weeks of, especially because I did several online classes like at the beginning, and I had never done that before. In-person classes, I was fine. If there's a teacher there telling me, hey, this is due this day, this is due that day, I could keep track of it. But with online stuff, you just look at a syllabus and it says all this stuff is due at the beginning of the semester. I would just forget stuff. And I'm like, I have a 0 in this class because I just forgot. Like it's hard for me to remember all this stuff. So I learned from that point, every single class had its own calendar in my calendars app. And I would like set the due date for myself before the due date in real life. And that made it, because I would forget what the due date is in real life. So I would just like basically take the entire semester and shift it forward a week for me.
That's smart.
And that worked out.
Yeah,
it worked out.
That sounds like it would, because you got like a whole extra week just if you don't.
You basically have to lie to yourself to stop procrastinating. And I was like, that's what I got to do. That's what I got to do. But that's super, super awesome. Yeah. Take that moment in your senior year and you only get one, hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah, for
hopefully
sure.
you only get one, and you just take some time to enjoy it, because people will lie to you and say, like, once you graduate, now it's real life. Get ready, real life sucks. No, it doesn't. Like, life's really awesome. Your senior year is not the best days of your life. It's good days, and you can't get it back. But there's good days beyond that too. So that's good news for you. It's not like if people are like, you wasted the best days of your life. No, life's pretty awesome past that too. If it's not, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
All those people who were like, high school's the glory days.
Yeah.
Nah, man. It's good. It's fun. I had great friends, but you got to set your life up to where you got something happy about it even afterwards. So what advice would you give, just like if you were to give a little bit of advice to any student who's going through a stressful season? Let's just say right now, most people probably aren't. It's summer right now, but somebody going through a stressful season, what advice would you give to them?
I would say use the season that you're currently in, like the season of struggle, to grow your faith. You have to pray. I'm not the best at it, but reading your Bible is very important.
Yeah.
And then also, even though you are struggling and you may be, so busy, it's very important to serve. Yeah. Serving it's when you can extend yourself, and when you think you can't, but you can. And that it just really helps your faith grow.
Yeah, we're big on serving here. The last podcast that we did for Couch Conversations was all about serving, and you bring it up again. But a lot of times for me as well, I'm passionate about it, because that's a way, like you said, super cool. People think, well, serving, I'm already so busy, and you're like, no, that's what helps me,
right?
Because I get to come and actually be around other people and serve the Lord. It doesn't stress me out. It's taking stress off of me. That's the hope.
It doesn't feel like serving.
Yeah.
But you are.
That's the goal especially for me, as like trying to schedule people and different things that we do to like get people plugged into serve. You want people to say what you just said. Like, I don't want people to view it as like, more work.
Right.
But to be, hey, I'm so excited. I'm scheduled to serve this week.
Right.
And so it's awesome to hear that that's your experience, and is the experience of a lot of other people. Now, there's people who I believe will listen to this, could be from anywhere, but even locally, that don't go to our church. Same things to be said, whatever church you're at, man, because go find a house and serve and enjoy that I guess that sort of cathartic thing of serving the house of God, when it doesn't make sense why it's refilling you, but it does. You're giving out and God's pouring into you. So now high school's over for you. You're moving on to the next season. How does that feel to be stepping into the next chapter? I'm going to try not to cry.
I wouldn't have said this like a week ago, but it just kind of hit me. It's kind of scary. Like it's kind of nerve wracking. Like I'm about to go into like a completely different environment, and with people I don't know, except my roommate I know, but it's definitely scary. Though I'm excited for sure.
I can remember my first year of school, I lived at home, and then I moved, and I went all out. I mean, I guess it's all out. I moved like 9 hours from home and went to school and didn't really hardly know anybody, and it was really scary. Like, I can remember, man, just like being tore up on like the way to move, because I'm like, I'm not gonna be near my family, all this stuff that's like still hard to this day. But man, it was those were some, not the glory days, like nothing else good happened, but man, college was some incredible days. I pick it over high school any day of the week.
Yeah.
Now I say I'm gonna try not to cry, because we go way back, and you're not gonna be in Legacy Youth every Wednesday, and that makes me sad. We still got a couple months, so we're not gonna cry about it yet. But I know going forward, like as far as the actual schooling part of it, I was like, dude, college is so much better. I don't have the answer to this particularly, but sitting in a school from like 8 a.m. till 3 p.m. is not good for anybody. Like it does not.
And then imagine having a 5-hour football practice just after that.
Yeah.
Every day.
It
just
does
smacking
not,
people.
It does not work. I couldn't. That's why I hated. I said like as I progressed in school, it got better. The reason is because like I just absolutely hated sitting there all day. And then I could have a day where I was done with class at noon, and I'm like, this is perfect. I love it. So how are you having to trust God going into the next season? This is our last like serious question, and then we'll just do a fun one to end it on. But how are you having to trust God as you step into this next season?
That's all I'm having to do right now. Like the money is a big one.
School's expensive.
I'm gonna be in debt for a while. It's gonna be rough. I'm just trusting that, like on a more practical level, that he puts me in the right classes I need to be in. Like I get my schedule right. Nothing is like, I don't miss anything that I'm like is a requirement or whatever, you know? But I'm definitely trusting that he, can bring me through this, missing people. Like I feel like that's gonna be the worst.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna miss y'all so much, dude. It's gonna be so sad.
The good news is you're going to school, but you're going to the University of Arkansas.
Right,
it's not that far.
Right.
You still have an easy trip back here, and everybody around here likes to go see the Hogs play. So we'll come up and see you. But I believe, financially it's going to work out because I want to give you the Legacy Youth full ride scholarship to the University of Arkansas.
Let's go.
First of all, there's a lot of angry class of 2025, if that was a real thing. And then also our youth ministry attendance is going to shoot up like crazy. They're like, you're giving a full ride? No, we're not. I wish I could. If I could, I would give it to you and every single graduate of the class of 2025. Man. All right, so for our final question, this is just kind of a silly one. If your high school journey were a movie, what would the title be? And then who would play you?
Oof, that's a good one. So if I were to have to name the movie, I'd probably say, okay, there's a couple that I was thinking, but I was either thinking like We Made It.
That's a good one.
Or like Praise God. That's what I was thinking.
Those are two good ones.
And who would play me? I had to go like Tom Cruise.
Like current day Tom Cruise?
No,
you gotta pick a current day actor.
Yeah. I'd probably pick dang, I kinda wanna make it funny, but
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Let's go Eddie Murphy.
Let's go Kevin Hart.
Who looks like me? I don't know if I look like an actor that would do a good job. Maybe just
you gotta pick like somebody who's like in every movie right now. Just go Timothy Chalamet.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
He's like in every movie, so.
Go No. Wait. Oh, I got it. This one's even better. Pick Miles Teller to play you.
Okay, I can see that.
That's a pretty good one.
That's a pretty good one,
If he shaves the mustache, I think that's more accurate.
For sure.
Let's do a side-by-side right here. Miles Teller, Mason Meek.
Yep.
I think it's probably close. Well,
close enough.
Yeah, close enough. Well, thank you so much for real. I have been anticipating this episode. It was super fun.
Yeah,
this was like we could sit here and talk. We set our episode. I have no idea how long we've been when chatting or talking or whatever, but it could go a lot longer if we got into like fantasy football,
for sure,
or how we both watch people play golf on YouTube. Yet we both don't play golf. We got a whole long list of things that Mason and I could talk about, none of which would interest anybody who could possibly be listening. So we're just going to go ahead and close it. I want to go ahead and pray just to close this episode, and then we'll be done. So let's pray. Father, I thank you so much, God, for this conversation that we got to have. God, I pray that it blesses some people who hear it on the other end of this, God, that they would hear this and be encouraged by what Mason has been through and the lessons that he's learned, that they would take it and learn from it, and they would make their experience, God, in their senior year or school this year or whatever season that they're in that is a struggle better. God, that they can find their rest in you, in your house, that they can know that prayer is a gift to us. It's available to us, God. And I pray right now for Mason as he's facing the next chapter. God, I believe that the next chapter is going to be just as good, actually better than the past chapter, because God, you're the author. You're the one writing his story. So I just pray your blessing upon him. God, in each and every person who would listen to this podcast, I thank you for it. It's in your name I pray. Amen. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode. We will see you again. We're not skipping any more months. We'll see you next month, first Friday of the month, for the next episode of Couch Conversations. Bye.